The best way to get the most out of yoga is to choose a workout that matches your ability and flexibility. When you find the right fit, you'll fall in love with this gentle but powerful form of exercise and all of its health benefits. Let's start with what yoga isn't. Yoga isn't about working out until you're exhausted or pushing yourself to the point where it begins to hurt. The key with yoga is starting slow and listening to your body. It takes time to get your muscles used to the moves that will improve your range of motion. The best workouts for beginners include poses that will gently stretch your muscles and reduce tightness. So here are top 5 yoga poses for beginners. 1. Mountain pose. The mountain pose is one of the foundational asanas in yoga. An asana is a Sanskrit term for posture. This pose is deceptively easy. You begin by standing tall with a straight spine. Your big toes should touch. But if you find it difficult, you can keep your feet apart slightly. Keep your arms at your side with your palms facing outward. Hold the pose for at least 30 seconds, working your way up to a full minute. The mountain pose will improve your posture and balance while strengthening the muscles in your lower body. 2. Forward fold pose. The forward fold pose builds on the foundation of the mountain pose to take your practice to the next level, and it's also a relatively easy asana for a beginner yogi. To do the forward fold pose, begin in mountain pose with your hands on your hips. Then, bend forward from your hips, not your waist as you exhale. Place your hands where it feels comfortable, by your feet, or keep your arms folded. If you're really flexible, you can grasp your ankles. If you find the pose difficult, you can bend your knees slightly, taking care to keep them soft rather than locked. As with the mountain pose, begin with 30 seconds and work toward holding the position for a full minute. It will strengthen your lower body and loosen tight muscles in your legs. 3. Downward dog pose. The downward dog pose or downward facing dog is the quintessential yoga pose. Even people who don't follow a regular practice will likely recognize it. Begin by kneeling on all fours on your mat. Your knees should rest directly below your hips. Place your hands with your fingers spread slightly forward of your shoulders. Then, inhale and exhale as you lift your knees from the mat. Keep them bent as you raise your buttocks upward. Slowly straighten your knees, keeping them soft. Make sure your head stays between your outstretched arms as you tighten them. Keep your shoulders wide. Stay in this position for at least 1 minute, working your way up to 2 or 3 minutes. The challenge with this pose is getting your heels to the floor. Beginners may stay on the balls of their feet. You can keep your knees bent during the move until you can build on your flexibility to get them flat on the mat. This pose is excellent simply because it works so many muscle groups. It will challenge your upper and lower body as well as help you with balance and flexibility. 4. Plank pose. You may be surprised to learn that plank pose is better for your core muscles than doing crunches. It's also a safer move that is less jarring for your back. It's an excellent asana to use with downward dog pose. For our purposes, we'll begin there and move into plank pose. Inhale as you lower your buttocks to put your torso in a flat position. Your arms should rest directly above your hands. Keep your head straight as you look down toward your mat. Start by aiming to hold the pose for 30 seconds, working your way up to a minute or longer. Plank pose will tone your entire abdomen as well as strengthen your arms and spine. 5. Low lunge pose. The low lunge pose is a great move for runners and hikers because it stretches the groin and thigh muscles. These muscles often get tight after strenuous workouts. We'll begin in downward dog pose. Our transition into this pose will demonstrate how a sequence works. As you exhale, bring your right foot between your hands, keeping your gaze on the mat. Keep your right knee straight over your heel and avoid letting it go past this position. Lower your left knee to the mat, sliding it back. You'll feel the stretch in the front of your left leg. Hold the pose for a minute or as long as it is comfortable for you. To work the other side, return to downward dog pose. Follow the same procedure, putting your left foot between your hands and your right knee on the mat. These moves include some of the basic poses that provide the foundation for more challenging yoga asanas. As with most yoga positions, modifications can make each asana accessible to the beginner so that you can fully experience the pose. When you master them, you're well on your way to building a fulfilling practice. To get more yoga videos like this, hit the like and subscribe button, and leave a comment below to let us know what you'd like to see next.